everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. I'm Gus.
I'm Chris.
I'm Kayla.
I'm Barbara.
And I'm Gus. That's a fine looking shirt, Barbara. I meant to wear mine today. I forgot.
STFU Trash Panda Squad Team Force University says STFU.
Oh.
Haha, funny joke.
Chris, too.
I got one too.
Yours is all right.
And we actually had a little vote on Twitter for what our mascot would be. And I mean, easy win. This cute little trash panda
Trash
guy.
panda, raccoon.
I want this on everything. Like a pin. I want a pin of this guy.
I'm going to tell you something, Barbara. The raccoons in my backyard do not look nearly that cute. They look mean. Like they want to mug me.
trash can lid like a shield, like this guy.
They do not. They look mean.
Dude, I wish we domesticated raccoons instead of cats.
I'm with you 100%. I'm with you so much, man.
I would much rather have a raccoon in my house than a cat. A cat has done nothing for me. A raccoon could help me wash my grapes.
I also love the way you say raccoon.
What?
Because you don't. I emphasize the like the raccoon. You say raccoon.
Is that not?
Raccoon. It's like R apostrophe.
Yeah, raccoon.
You somehow make it sound cooler.
Yeah, you
It's a
do.
raccoon. I don't.
Raccoon. So when you play like Resident Evil, is it Raccoon City?
Yes.
Raccoon City?
Raccoon City.
Raccoon City.
Rack City, bitch.
I think raccoons. Now I'm doing it.
Raccoons?
I feel like it's a South thing, maybe. Because that sounds like maybe a Southern accent.
Raccoons. How do you say it?
Raccoon?
Raccoon.
I guess,
I can't think about how I say it now.
Let's just say trash panda. The
Trash panda.
enunciation goes out the window if that's
They're so much cooler than cats.
Yeah.
And they're cuter.
They've got hands.
They have hands.
That's what I'm saying.
But
They help you wash your grapes.
the only danger with that is how much more crazy nonsense your pet raccoon would get into, and I respect that about raccoons.
I respect that.
You could you know they'd be a good pet.
Yeah.
You'd be always on them like
so
watch.
chunky.
You
They
ever
could
see-
drop from anywhere.
You ever see that video of a raccoon who tries to wash cotton candy?
Yes. It's the saddest and funniest thing I've
Yeah,
ever
it like
seen.
takes cotton candy up to like a dish of water and it
They
puts it in to wash
their food
it.
before they eat it
Yeah,
because
and-
they're respectable
And
animals.
the cotton candy just all dissolves, and the raccoon just like
He's going like this.
the water
He's going like
like
this with his paws in the water.
Oh no!
Yeah, and he keeps doing it, and it's just like, oh, buddy.
dude, you're melting it. It's going away.
I feel like that moment, that video is Chris. Like if I were to sum up Chris in a video, it would be that one.
You know before the podcast started, I went to the bathroom down the hall over here, and when I was walking back, I walked by one of the exterior doors, and there was like, it sounded like a wild animal to me outside, like banging and thrashing up against the door.
Jesus.
And I thought, that's probably Chris out there. So I went up to the door and I opened it, and I was like, I know who that is. And then, yep, sure enough, it was Chris on the. He couldn't unlock the door to get in.
The card reader changed.
No.
I think it was just
No.
having it, like you have to hold it on it longer or something.
That changed it. That's a change.
I don't think I did it the normal way I've always done.
Well, maybe
also-
you just held it longer all the time.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Or maybe you were just being impatient and
Yeah.
weren't holding it.
I've been impatient a lot, Barbara, and it's never happened.
That's very true.
That's very true.
Very true. I can't.
I was
solve
like,
the problem.
my card isn't working. What's going on?
Chris was like, oh, this is how they fire me. Okay.
Like, it was so loud that like other people were like, I just happened to be the closest, but other people were coming up to investigate what was going on at the door.
Well,
I like that the door guy was just like,
Well, he had stepped away. He was getting
Okay.
water. Like he was around the corner. So like it was just like the perfect storm.
yeah. Well, I had to go take Booger out for pooping, and we were finishing up, and so I ran over there, and he was taking forever. He was doing laps, and then he went back inside. I'm like, dude, you haven't pooped yet. Get out.
Does anyone like let their dog poop like in someplace in the house, like the toilet or something, or like not like a litter box for cats, but something similar for dogs? Does that exist?
They make these like fake grass things,
Yeah.
but I think they're
It's
just
still
for
outside, right?
potty training.
You could put it inside, but it would just smell bad.
It
Yeah.
stink like shit.
I guess I'm just trying to think of like, because so many people own dogs.
Yeah.
And I wonder how everyone manages to like be home enough to let it out to walk or
Most dogs you can wait,
They can
you
hold-
know,
yeah.
a
Like a
while.
whole day?
Yeah. Well, normally
Yeah.
like I'll give my dogs like 8 hours, but I mean they can
8 hours
they can go
usually.
longer. They can go like 10 or
13,
12.
Yeah, like my
Damn.
dog, like because we
dogs
all
are way more powerful than me.
because like last person would be out of the house at like 7:30, 8 a.m.
Yeah.
and then my dog, I would get home first at like 2:30, so he just wouldn't he would go out.
You can also install like a dog door.
Yeah.
Where you can walk
Yeah.
in and out.
That's on my to-do list, is the dog door. It wasn't as much of a
Just so he
deal
could
when
use
we
it as
were working from home, but now that we're like in and out of the office more, I need to like.
Yeah.
But he's not on that routine yet, so
Yeah.
that's why I want to make sure I like.
But also, if he's like good, like
Yeah, I just didn't want to let him hold it
Finally.
for that long. You
Yeah.
know.
Someone in chat who is this Jay Tizzle was taken wrote, "My dog will poo in the basement if I'm not home to let her out, and I never fault her for that. Wasn't home and she had to go."
that's fair.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, I'd feel so bad. I can't imagine being poor little animal just having to piss myself.
They don't drink coffee, so they've got
they don't-
an advantage. They literally have a leg up on us.
I will say this about Booger. He's real smart. I'll get home and then he'll immediately chug a bunch of water.
Oh, like he's waiting.
'Cause he
Like
knows.
he knows.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't drink water yet because I'm just gonna have to hold it. So I'll get home and I'm like,
He's like,
he'll go.
Finally, I
I'm
can
like,
fill
why-
that bladder up.
And at first I was like, man, why is he like chug water? And I was like, oh yeah, he was holding it.
you can only do it when you're watching. That's the only real day. So
I'm just trying to learn as much as I can about owning a dog because me and Trevor are hoping to finally get one this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it forever. I'm sure
Yeah.
people on the podcast are like,
What
God,
kind?
get it already.
What kind? Big or small?
Medium. I prefer on the smaller end. He has had kind of medium, larger dogs in the past.
She had a puggle.
We're looking at like poodle mixes, essentially, is like our ideal dog, just because of
She should
hypoallergenic.
get a poodle.
I don't know if we like just straight up poodles. It's also like, you know, if we could do a rescue dog or
There's poodle
adopt,
rescues.
we're definitely gonna, try to do that.
Yeah.
But we also want a dog that works for us and that fits our lifestyle and stuff. So it's
feel-
going to be some work, but I want to do it right.
Yeah. I feel like people dunk on poodles, but what they don't understand is a doodle is like one of the worst dogs.
A golden doodle?
Like temperamentally, doodle. Like the dude who invented doodles, he said, "I wish I had never done this."
I personally am a huge fan of cavapoos. I don't know if you've
I don't
seen
know what
them.
that is.
You should Google it. It is
How do you-
just
what?
cavapoo. It's I think a King Charles
Oh.
Cavalier and
a poodle.
The poodle.
Bernedoodles.
Bernedoodles look cool as
These
shit
are not.
too.
Are these real animals?
These are real
Yeah.
animals.
They
yeah.
sound like Pokemon.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
They
like Bernedoodles look cool as shit. But
that's a
they gotta
Pokemon.
cost, like,
That is
10K.
definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
I gotta say, I respect that you and Trevor are not taking this decision lightly,
Not at all.
and that you're like thinking about it and figuring out all the logistics and thinking about the animal. Like,
Yeah.
oh, what are we gonna do? Or is it
Yeah.
gonna suffer? Is it gonna be in a
Yeah.
bad place? Who's gonna be able to let it out? I mean, I appreciate that.
it's a
that's-
big responsibility.
It is.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's helped, like with Jackie and Fredo.
Yeah.
They just got Gabu, within the last year or so.
Yeah.
And just like seeing their experience raising her, and like, because they got her when she was a puppy, and it's just
Puppies are hard.
it's like not to the same extent, like a newborn baby.
Yeah,
it's like
puppies
you
are
have to
hard.
like take care of it and be there for it when it wakes up in the morning and all throughout the day, and like really like watch over it, and just like being prepared for that. I think I can't imagine choosing to adopt a dog and not literally thinking through everything.
Yeah.
Can I give you? I have two suggestions. One, Raccoon, do it.
Do it.
Commit. Try and domesticate it.
Domesticate it.
Okay.
Go big or go home.
Okay.
Baby. Just find a litter. Are they litters?
I feel like people have domesticated raccoons in
Yeah.
places. Like that exists.
Yeah.
People
You
have
can't
done that.
Have you ever
fully
seen the video
domesticate
of the
them?
guy feeding all the raccoons on his front porch?
Yes,
Yes.
with the hot dogs?
Yes.
Yes. Of course.
So
that could
think
be
about
me.
that.
That could be me.
Think about
Yeah.
you feeding hot dogs on your porch, relaxing in a summer day, drinking a
Mai Tai.
lemonade with
Mai
some
Tai.
maybe like a beer or tequila in it or something, and you're just tossing hot dogs on the
Lemonade
lawn.
with a beer in it?
No, I was thinking.
I don't know. I meant a beer or a lemonade.
Okay. Depending on what
Yeah.
mood I'm
But you're
in.
just imagine that you're relaxing, tossing hot dogs
Yeah.
to your adorable raccoon.
Well, I think the ideal scenario would be the raccoon is fetching me the hot
Oh
dog.
fuck!
Oh.
Because
Oh
like,
my god!
if I could have a pet that also works for me,
Well, it would be dangerous for it to be pulling them off the grill.
Yeah.
But it could do it. You could
With
build the
enough training.
suspension.
His hands are
You-
too
yeah.
tiny.
No,
no,
you
they're
could do it.
perfect. He uses his little claw things to just grab
You
the
can
actual.
get him a little spatula or little tongs
Little tongue.
yeah,
that it could use.
little tongue.
Or even just build a little like a top tier like little thing that it could climb up on.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
maybe like a little lever that just like rolls them down onto a plate.
I've seen
We'll see. We can figure
I've
it
seen
out.
so many videos where people have trained animals to do things for
like
them.
a lever that then like tilts the grill so the
Yeah.
hot dogs roll down or something.
Oh my god, I want that anyway.
Yeah.
Raccoon or not.
Can't be bothered.
The other suggestion is you could do a dog, what do you call it, fostering? That's what I would booger. That way you could try. You don't have to.
You have to commit to a dog.
You don't have to commit, but that will kind of give you that idea of what.
Like how,
Because you do it's short term and you're not committing anything, but it gives you kind of an idea of like what your rhythm might be. And
we might look into doing that. Trevor also grew up with dogs.
Yeah.
Like he's had a dog ever since he was young. And so like he knows a lot about raising pups.
Oh, yeah.
But I've never had a dog, a cat, anything.
No pets?
None. Other than a hamster.
Yeah,
It'll be fun when it breaks your heart in about 10 years.
I know.
I did.
Which my parents, that's another thing we talked about. I'm like, we're essentially buying heartbreak.
Yeah.
Well, that's
yeah.
But that's everything.
I guess life is just
Yeah,
heartbreak.
why ever get into any relationship? You're just gonna break up, or one of you's gonna die.
Can I say
Listen, it's going to be forever, or it's going to go down in flames.
Yeah. Oh, and by forever, one of you's gonna outlive the other.
Yeah.
Unless you happen to literally go down in flames together.
I don't like nihilistic Chris.
No, this is
I
just
say
like
something really not optimistic, but something I heard the other day that's very promise I'm not stoned when I say this kind of message. So the concept of time, we always think about as like a straight line. Like we have our past and we have the future, and you're kind of somewhere on that line somewhere.
Right.
And everyone thinks about like, I want to do this, I want to accomplish this in my future. I'm trying to get to my future. Like essentially you're always thinking about, I'm on my way to this non-existent point.
Yeah.
And you can never really contextualize it properly.
Yeah.
And this thought of always trying to like move through time like that instead of the reality, which is essentially the only thing that exists is present.
Yeah.
That's it. And so time is moving through you. And so just essentially like you are always present. That's the only thing that will ever exist to you. And so just like allowing things to come and like being as present as you can and like being happy in that moment with like
Yeah, I think
what you have and being grateful there for that.
Yeah.
I think
time is
very-
flat
I think a lot of times it's
Capricorn,
easy.
I can't do that.
It's easy to ruin the now thinking about
Yes,
the future
exactly.
or about like dreading something. It's like then you're not, even if that thing's bad in the future, you're also ruining the now. And I'm not saying, there is some value to it, to like being prepared and trying to mitigate, minimize, but it's like you can really affect your mindset, like really dwelling on a lot of that stuff.
And personally, I have too with like severe anxiety that I've felt or that I've dealt with in the last like year, 2 years, like worse than I ever had before.
Yeah.
And like,
why? What do you think that was?
something.
You're really stressing out about this dog thing, Barbara.
Yeah,
and listen,
it's
I don't think you should
fine.
stress
But
about
I
it that
tend
much.
to think worst case scenario.
Same.
So like if something's coming up,
you
I think like this
catastrophize.
is exactly woo catastrophe high five right now. But I just kind of like try to I find ways to cope with these things, and like this is one of them. Like not thinking about the future because it has not happened yet and doesn't exist yet.
Sure.
And thinking this thought helped me so much the other night. It was tomorrow hasn't happened yet. And that's like that
fills
has
me with fear.
That has changed. No, if you think of it in a positive way, tomorrow hasn't happened yet. So like if you're worrying about something that might happen at some point in time, well, it hasn't happened yet.
Kind of the flip side of that.
Yeah.
The way that, well, maybe not the flip side, but a different way of looking at it, like the way I think about it is back in 2012 or 2013, one of the first RTXs, speaking of which, RTX badges available now, early bird prices till February 14th.
For first members.
One of the first RTXs that we planned in person. Hey, there it is.
Graphic.
It was really stressful. There was a lot going on, because we were planning it, Barbara and I. And, I was like, oh my God, we have all this work to do, all this stuff to do. And then some of the people that we work with on the event said, you got to look at it this way. There's a date on the calendar. The event's going to happen. Like whatever you do, you can do as much as you can now to like try to make it good and do what you can. But it's like eventually you're going to get there and it's going to pass. It's like you just got to be prepared.
Can't do
as much
anything
as you
to
can.
stop it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, regardless of what you do, it's going to happen at that time. Which is, speaking of which, badges on sale now for first members, general public on January 26th. Early bird discounts are available through February 14th. We're going to be back in person. Please come to RTX. We are all so excited about it. We're all so excited to see you guys again in person back here in Austin. So please come down and see us.
Please come see us.
RTX.
Can't wait. That's going to be electric.
I've been missing it.
Oh yeah, it's like it's that feeling of like being around a group of people and like that like camaraderie and like.
I think it's also, this is a very, I think, maybe not egotistical is the right word, but along those lines of just like, we make so much stuff, and this last 2 years has felt so lonely, and like just making content and doing these streams and like not being able to put faces to the names we see, and like
Just looking at that Black Mirror all day.
just all day. It just feels very lonely and isolating, and just to be able to do RTX and to actually see the people who watch our stuff makes things like, I don't know, it invigorates me every single year.
Yeah, no, I get that 100%.
Yeah.
Because I remember the first RTX, I didn't really understand what we were doing. And I mean that sense like make stuff and then like people would comment on YouTube or Rooster Side or whatever. But then like seeing people in real life, I was like, oh, like it just felt real. I don't know. And then like talking with people, it's like it does so much to take a name commenting and then like putting like then all of a sudden there's like real people that like
with real palpable excitement.
Yeah. And it makes it, and it's also just like you now all of a sudden like immediately you meet people and then you can like actually know like, oh, that's so and so from I met them you know, like in real life they're a real person.
Yeah, I see you in chat all the time.
All the
That's
time.
your body. It's weird.
Yeah, that's Chomper's Tart 86.
Chomper's Tart 86.
Someone grab that.
Yeah, someone grab that before I make it a NFT.
Oh gosh. It's just, I don't know. It's just a nice experience for so many reasons. And it's just, I think we've missed it. And it just has felt like, I don't know. It's just nice to see the people who enjoy your stuff and to actually get to, with such a negative past 2 years, having some positivity and some like.
There's been a lot that sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, the only reason I even work here is because of RTX.
Really?
Yeah. I used to work at Adult Swim, and we did something on the main stage, and I was like
Center stage.
That's Gus's pet peeve, calling it main stage instead of center stage.
We were doing something on the center stage, and so the like our marketing team came out for the whole weekend, and we met with like the full screen people, and I vibed with one of the full screen people. So then when AT&T bought Adult Swim, and they were like, we have a hiring freeze, so you can't stay here anymore. I was like, oh, well, now one place I went to is pretty cool. I'm not going to move to Texas, though. And now I've been here for 4 years.
That was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn, dude.
Yeah. Tic-tone.
And now you're like,
Oh, was it Chick-Tone?
Yeah. Yeah.
that's awesome.
Tic-tone.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was your origin story.
That was my villain origin story.
And now you're part of STF, you poor thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a
know how I got
great
here.
incorporation of the U.
STFU.
Poor thing.
STF, you poor thing.
For the people listening at home, most of us have on shirts that say STFU on them, which is a new line of merch that you can get
Which is
on the Rooster Teeth store.
It's also a mantra for this past 2 years.
STFU.
I think some people in chat are surprised that you worked at Adult Swim. I guess maybe they didn't
They're
know
surprised.
your
Yeah,
origin story.
my first job out of college, I interned at TBS and TNT because they're all of Turner. I guess that doesn't exist anymore. Turner Broadcasting was based out of Atlanta, and I got a marketing degree out of spite because I didn't want to do that. So I was going to be like, if I'm going to be in business, I'm going to be in business in a fun way. So
Fun business.
Yeah, so I applied at all the Turner jobs, so I got one. And then while I was interning at TBS and TNT, I got a role called T3 with Adult Swim.
Hell
Is that like you're like a Terminator?
Yeah, it's like a Terminator. it's like intern plus, where it's like not a girl, not yet a woman, where it's like you're not an intern, but you're not yet a coordinator.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like building you up to then become a coordinator. So it's like a 15-month role, I think, or 11. It's 11 months.
Okay.
I don't know, but they kept me way longer. So I was like, oh
You're
shit,
so
I'm going to
good.
be a coordinator. And then AT&T was like, we bought you guys. You can't hire anybody because we're firing people. And I was like, oh.
And then
okay.
we went, Kayla, please.
Yeah, and I was like, what's up full screen? Whatever.
Who was the person at full screen? Or do they still?
She's not there. She's at Spotify now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was really hoping it would be Tim G.
No, it wasn't.
Tim
Tim hired
of course
me.
he would bring you in.
No, Tim hired me.
Really?
Yeah, he's the one. He hired me directly. I was his direct hire.
Oh.
We've talked
think
about Tim G
yeah.
on the podcast
Yeah.
before.
Yeah,
right?
I was his first hire.
He has a show that he makes on YouTube called Green Life.
Yes.
Which is all about planting.
Gardening.
Yes.
Gardening.
Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's like tomatoes, pizza, walk boys, all that.
Yeah, it is so perfectly Tim G.
I love it.
Yeah. You should look it up. The Green Life.
Yeah.
Or
He
just
does-
Green Life.
He has dank pizza nights.
I talked about, sorry to interrupt you. I talked about this a couple of weeks ago on the podcast, but my new favorite subreddit is Pizza Crimes,
What?
where it's just like people post disgusting looking pizzas. Not that Tim G makes disgusting pizzas, just
his
you're talking
pizzas
about
are
might.
pretty good.
pizzas online.
Let's not rule it out.
Yeah.
I just
The
made me think
pizzas
about
are
Pizza
good.
Crimes.
He has
What's
2 kids
disgust-
now. They're, of
Yeah.
course, delicious pizzas.
Yeah, there's delicious
Every dad
pizza.
makes good pizza.
The only disgusting part is like when you're making the pizza and you have to watch like a child like try to spoon something because they don't have fine motor skills.
Yeah.
So it's just like
It's a mess.
How do it's so weird that kids don't have fine like
They don't have the practice yet.
it's so weird. They're like little like
yeah.
Yeah,
they
they're-
can't move their
can't do
hands
it.
like and I remember not being able to move my hands. Like
Yeah.
it's just weird to think
It's
about.
weird because you would think it's like something, this should come naturally to human
Yeah.
beings. But
It's like how come you
still-
can talk but you can't hold a spoon? Not like this.
Yeah, humans suck. Like
It takes a lot of practice to human.
no, even out of the like vaginal canal,
Womb. Womb. Please say womb. Chris, please say womb.
whatever you want to call it.
I want to call it the
Canal,
womb.
I don't know what you're
Or
talking
just
about.
the vagina. You come
Yeah.
out of the vagina.
No.
Vaginal
Listen
canal.
to Chris, female
vaginal-
anatomy expert Chris Demarais.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are terrible. Like we can't
Yeah.
feed, we shit, we can't even open our eyes. We can't. We just scream.
Yeah.
We're like terrible. Like just keep them. Now this is obviously I'm not. Or maybe I'm speaking out loud because I don't have to put them in my stomach. But I feel like they should stay in longer so that they get a little more developed.
Yeah.
Like
Go in the stomach,
giraffes come
the
out and they
vaginal
walk.
They walk.
They come out
Every
walking.
other animal
Hey,
gets pooped out and then they walk immediately.
Could all people with uteruses chime in here and just like maybe like respond if you're cool with if and when you choose to get pregnant? If you would be okay a little longer than 9
Bacon.
months.
well, no.
Just
Bacon
come
in
at
I'm
it
not
a couple
saying
months.
it's like I don't think we can do anything about
Yeah.
it.
I think kangaroos have the right idea.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
That disgusting
Although
pouch.
then don't they carry it around for like quite a while?
We do that anyway.
Yeah.
We build our own pouches.
Technically,
Whoa.
Yes, we build our own.
yeah, we build our own
pouches.
pouches.
We are building our own kangaroo pouches that we have to go, and then we have to strap them to car seats. We have to strap them to. There's a lower third that says Chris Demarais, vaginal expert. I'll
Nice.
take that.
You should.
and
If you
run
ever
with
make a
it.
dating
Someone
profile, you should
screenshot
put that
this.
on there. Yeah, there you
There we go.
I should
post for the
Let me
screenshot.
hold 2 fingers.
Yeah.
You should also look right into camera.
I mean,
when
I
you
wouldn't
do it.
use those two, but if you want to, that's on you.
Anyway,
Interesting show. Kayla teaches Chris is sex.
I'm just saying that way is less efficient.
There's tiles missing up there.
Age probably did that.
where was I going about this?
You're talking
we-
about
we-
you're talking about giraffes falling
Keeping
out
a
of
baby
vaginas.
longer in
Yeah.
your stomach, according
Yes,
to you.
before it comes out the vaginal canal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we just develop them stronger and more efficiently, we I don't know why is it 9 months?
Yeah,
Come on.
thereabouts.
They should be further along at
I
that
will
point.
say that,
Humans
that
are not
does look
efficient.
a long time.
No, we're not.
Also,
Yeah.
okay. Why don't we count? Never mind.
No, don't go there. Don't do it.
Oh, is this a pregnancy question?
Why don't we count our age from the time? Like, are you actually a year old, or are you a year plus 9 months?
I saw something really funny about twins that were born at 11:59 p.m. on New Year's Eve and like
How it ruins their lives.
12:02 p.m.
Yeah.
They're born in different years.
Yeah.
But also, like, I agree because if you're just if you were conceived before
You
someone,
should be born at 9 months.
like if you were conceived before someone, let's say I was conceived January 1st, you were conceived January 10th.
Yeah.
Well, that's
But
a long time.
But your mom goes into labor before my mom.
Yeah.
So you're born
You're
before
technically
me.
older
so
than
you're
Barbara.
technically older because you were born then, but I was conceived earlier.
So she's
wait,
been
wait.
around.
Now
longer.
now you're starting to dance around very tricky questions that are the crux of a lot of laws up for.
Oh, no, I know that. I know that. But just in terms of like,
Conceived versus
because like we only start counting age
When
when
it
you
pops
are born.
out.
When it pops out.
I think
Which is your birthday, but your true age?
true. Like I could be. Anyways,
Also, anyway, we don't have to get into it.
I don't know if you all were on the podcast last time I mentioned this, but not every country counts age the same way we do.
What does that mean?
Like in Korea, everybody ages a year on January 1st.
Excuse me?
What?
Yeah, it's like you have a birthday, but you become a year older on January 1st because it's another year.
But what if you're born December
29.
29th?
You're just 2 now?
It's like
You're born December 28th, and now you're 2.
Everyone's odometer rolls over January 1st, essentially. Because it's a new year and another...
So when it's your birthday, like nothing happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's... Yeah, they
it's
have
just
different
everyone's
celebrations
okay.
for birthdays,
then-
but yeah.
But you're not like, now I'm 32.
Right, no, it's like you were 32 on January 1st.
Now you're 33.
That's cool because then like birthdays are less stressful. Everyone celebrates them at the same time. You don't have to worry about getting gifts for people.
I hate this.
I will say that.
That's such an interesting way to do it.
Right, but it's like we're not... There are other ways to approach this.
All these
hate
articles about like so-and-so lived to 100, like the oldest person alive.
Yeah.
How does that count? Do they
you count-
they made it to 100, but
Also,
really
do you count leap year
it was
days?
99.
What about leap year days?
Well,
do we add those on?
No.
Because they're extra days. And we're
So-
counting a year as
so-
365.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense to start counting it when you're born because conception, I mean, you could catch that at various times.
Yeah.
Like, it's an estimate on like how far along you are usually.
Do you ever, do you ever think about, this is so stupid. You know, since it takes 2 different kind of cells to like meet to make an embryo or whatever,
Supposedly.
allegedly, I always think about like, it's like, I've been here, but you know, I was like in a ball sack when it happened.
Wait, what?
Like, because you know, your genetic material, because like, okay, so women are born with all of their eggs, which is insane.
And guys make their sperm over time.
Yeah, which I assume, I don't know enough about the male form to confirm or deny that, but I know that women are born with their eggs. So it's like, I always think about where it's like, well, I've never physically been here technically, but...
Wait, what? Wait, you've never physically...
Yeah, it's like, oh, have you ever been to Mississippi? And it's like, well, not physically, but like at some point, part of me was there.
Probably.
Yeah. Like,
is it
Part of
like
me.
a piece of you?
Yeah.
because if you're
Something that eventually became you at some point.
But then you could count like a piece of food that you ate. Like if you ate a piece of corn from
getting real
Arkansas,
philosophical
then,
in this week's
and then you
RT
later
podcast.
consumed it and it became part of you, then technically you were in Arkansas.
No,
Like-
technically Arkansas is in you.
Arkansas is in you,
different.
and I feel like that's a sperm
in
argument.
Soviet Arkansas.
you have to make it.
City being
Okay,
you.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Bodies are weird, fucked up.
Everything is weird.
We should have evolved past this. By now.
That's what Chris was saying. You're going to start him over on this. We had moved on.
Okay, yeah.
Ladies, keep the baby in.
I want to. We need to be coming out walking.
I honestly
Pop out and walk away.
I don't think-
This is why aliens won't talk to us, because they're like, you know, they still like.
I don't think humans are designed to birth something that could come out walking.
That's why we suck.
That's why
no,
we
because
suck.
it's so big at that
But that's
point.
why we
That's
suck.
why we
Okay,
suck.
but hear me out. It would be more horrifying to shit out a tiny, fully formed human.
And I think it's
yes.
because of our brains. It's because our heads.
Right. Our heads are too
Our
big.
heads are
and
too
our
big,
bodies
and-
Because our brains are too big.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Especially us four.
Everyone that in before comments, I'm not high. I've never been high. I know this whole thing sounds like a high conversation.
Kayla straight edge.
I've had 3 cups of coffee today. I'm the most sober.
Oh, goodness.
I caffeinated quite a bit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I did too much or not enough based on this conversation. I can't tell.
I saw a really disturbing video that Esther sent to me earlier today. It's this person. It's been on YouTube for a couple of years, but it's this person making fried rice.
Okay.
But it's almost like an alien who's never had human food trying to make human food.
I love that.
Because like they brown some garlic in a pan and they end up burning it. And then they throw the rice in to start like cooking the rice and incorporating it.
Is like uncooked rice?
Uncooked rice.
Like uncooked,
Like-
unwet, dry rice.
Exactly. They throw dry, hard, uncooked rice into a pan to make fried rice.
Already wrong.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they chop up like deli meat, like deli ham and chicken to put into their fried rice. And it's like a 10-minute long video that I couldn't turn away from. It's just called Special Fried Rice.
Do they consume it?
Yeah, then at the end, someone eats it.
Is it
and their
crunchy?
first note the first thing out of their mouth when they take a bite is, can't really taste the garlic. It's like, really? Is that the first thing you thought when you took a bite?
What sound did it make when he took a bite? Was it like a...
You ever hear a bone break?
Yeah, that's what I imagined. Eating dry, uncooked rice.
Like,
Sound like.
that's what I thought. It's like filmed on a phone. It's like you can't really hear it that well. But I was fully expecting like him to smile and like his teeth to all be shattered.
It's weird though, the things that we eat that we don't realize are wrong. I had a friend who would always eat the ramen noodle packets. You just eat the noodles by themselves.
A lot of people do eat those dry.
And then my little brother, for whatever reason, whenever we were kids, when we get toaster strudels, you know what I'm talking about? The frozen. He would just eat them frozen.
Frozen?
Yeah, and he liked them like that. And I was like, he'd always just eat them like popsicles or something.
I was going to say.
Oh,
A Demarais eating things weirdly? What?
Unheard of.
Even I wouldn't try and cook rice without water.
That's good.
Yeah,
I'm proud
I know
of you.
that it needs water.
You got to cook the rice first,
Yeah,
and then
that's
once
the
it's cooked,
cooking
you put
part.
cooked rice in to make fried rice.
Yeah.
Ideally, the next day after you've refrigerated
Wait,
it.
what?
What?
You refrigerate? Why?
Refrigerate what?
For the best fried rice, you want to usually use like a day-old refrigerated rice.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
It just makes it better. I think it's because it's less likely to get mushy because you're not double cooking it so recently after it.
Oh, that's
Kind
why
of
my
like
rice
it's
is always
best to do
mushy.
your hair, like day 2 hair if you're doing an updo because it's a little oily and like has some thickness to it. because
Oh
it-
no!
I think it's 'cause
Not-
it gives
maybe
the
for
rice
longer hair.
for longer. hair.
chance like maybe like dry out a little bit. And then
yeah.
when you go to fry it, it's not like it just turn into mush immediately.
Yeah, I
assume. I don't know. I'm no rice expert.
yeah.
You're not.
No.
On the subject of hair,
Okay.
day 2 hair, I hate the look of a haircut whenever it's like you just got a haircut.
It's the worst.
It is the worst. Like, and that's why I avoid getting haircuts. I'll go as long as I can without getting a haircut because I'm like, I don't want to look like I just got a haircut.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
I feel like I wish I could. I've had so many haircuts where I wish I could have just gone, wait, and then just like stop them there. Because you're like, sometimes you're like 3/4 done with getting your hair done, and you're like, this is what I want. Then they keep doing stuff to it. I wish I could just be like, no, hold on.
Hold here.
Leave.
Pause.
Yeah, but
Be gone. But you can't.
You feel so like I can't tell them. They're
She
professional.
went to school
But
for
you're like,
this.
oh, they know what they're doing,
Yeah.
surely. But then they just keep going sometimes.
Yeah. And then so like I'll avoid getting my haircut. And then I came up with this tactic that I think worked pretty well. Anytime I see, and it definitely enlarges the amount of time that you can go without getting hair. Enlarge is not the right word.
Extends.
Extends is the word I was looking for.
Enlarges
Extends
the time.
It enlarges and extends.
It
Go on.
enlarges the time. Anytime you're like in the mirror and you're like doing something with your hair, you just cut whatever you don't
The lower
like.
third.
Hair expert.
You cut whatever you don't like, and you're not going to cut it like inherently evenly, but
So
like
you give yourself a haircut slowly over the course of days?
weeks.
Here's what you do,
What the
Chris.
fuck are you on,
Or
bro?
when you do go to the hairdresser.
I just got a haircut, and that's why I'm wearing a hat.
Yeah.
Let's
I
see it.
did notice
No.
that you got a haircut today.
Let's see
Yeah. No,
We'll
because
let the
this
it's just it looks like a little boy
We'll
got.
let the chat
Well, that was good for
decide.
a shoot
Yeah,
today.
it worked well for today.
Your system is bullshit. Is no one else going to call him out on this? You cut your hair a little bit every time you look in the mirror? What the fuck is
It's
wrong
not
with
every
you?
time. It's anytime you see something that sticks out that you don't like.
I will play devil's advocate, but this is more if you have longer, more uniform length hair. I'll trim up some ends.
Okay.
That I can
sometimes,
understand.
Some dead ends that I see. But if you have short hair,
Demarais hair?
Yeah.
such as Chris
I
Demarais,
have a question.
It's
Don't know
very
if I would-
noticeable.
Has my hair looked particularly weird at any point in the last like 2 months?
Every picture of your hair has looked the same since I've seen you start at RT.
I think if it would be more noticeable if you styled it in any sort of way, but it's usually like
I do style it.
What do you do?
Well, if I don't style it, then it looks. I'll show you. It just looks.
Man,
it
that
lays
guy looks
flat
like he just
and
got a
looks like I
haircut.
just got like this.
Okay.
Look
So
like
what do you
I
do?
look
You
like.
just-
So
like
what do you do to style
Spider-Man
it?
3
Do you
emo.
use product or you just use your hands?
Yeah, I put some
put product?
and kind of like.
Do some zhuzhing?
And right now you can't really do much because it's too short, which I don't. It's just kind of like.
How come you say just give me a haircut, but not as short as you would
I
cut it?
do.
And
Do you
then
know
still
what
cut it too
guard
short?
you want them to use?
I don't use guard.
They use scissors.
I like to do raw. No, I don't. I just do hair scissors because when they use guards, it ends up being like too short.
Just tell them to like cut like a 1/4 inch off or something. Tell them like not to take very much.
It's a weird balance though, Gus, because I don't like getting haircuts. And I want it to be, and I'll try and go as long as I can. But then whenever I do get a haircut, I don't want to get it enough to where I'm like, I got to get another haircut in a week.
How about this?
What?
You find a photo of yourself where you really like your hair, and
that's
you
a
take
really
it,
good idea.
And you'd be like,
after that,
cut it like this.
This, please.
Or what you
Or
say.
you find what the guards are.
Bring the picture.
No, there are no guards.
Bring the picture.
Are you cutting your own hair?
Well, yes, we've established
Scissors.
that slowly.
But when they do it at the hairdresser, what are they using? Scissors?
These scissors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bring the picture that you like and say, I am filming something where we have to have this exact haircut because for continuity. I mean, that's not always wrong. We do film a lot.
We do film a lot. We do need continuity. That's like that time they asked Fiona to do a pickup, and she was like, "My hair is red and not braided anymore. I'm not doing shit."
Yeah.
Wait, who?
Fiona.
Oh, yeah. Well, that we've dealt with that a lot in a lot of productions.
Yeah.
That happens all the
There's
time.
an RT short we did a few years ago.
The one where
It was the one where Chris wants to take like
paternity leave.
to
So I'm
have
trying
a
to get a
vacation.
kid.
So he keeps trying to get a kid. And we filmed the first scene maybe like 1 week, and I thought we were done. And so I had like a hairdresser appointment. I got my hair blonder. And then we filmed the next scene. But like luckily I had a cap on. But there's so many comments being like, did Barbara's hair change from scene to scene?
It wasn't luckily you had a cap on.
Yeah.
It was we put a cap on because we had to because your hair was different
I
colors.
feel like anything shot with Blaine, it dances on that tip of we better get it now because who knows what he's gonna look like.
Who knows what that
I mean, I
guy's
didn't have an
gonna
arm.
look like.
It's one of the reasons I don't really grow my beard out very long.
Yeah.
Is I don't ever want to film something
And then have to, like
have recently trimmed it and be like, we need to do a pickup. It's like,
you're
well,
like,
I said
back
I need
out.
a few
Ain't
days.
got no beard.
Right. It's like, so I intentionally trim it to keep it short. That way, if we need to film something else, it's not a big deal.
I meant to shave today.
Oh, for the shoot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had my tires doing that thing where it like gets flat all the time.
Is there a nail in
There
it?
might be a nail in your
Well,
tire.
yeah, I think there's
If
something.
you,
There's
do you
some,
fill it up and then it leaks
keeps
out?
going down. Yeah,
That's a
There's
slow
something
leak, bro. You probably got
But
a nail up in
My
there.
tire's doing the thing.
Yeah.
Rare
Also,
leak.
I saw Chris driving down the road earlier, and one of his headlights is out.
Chris,
hey, let's not get into
Wait.
it. I'm not a car person, all right?
what do you got on? Gus, what's on your feet?
What? My shoes?
What you got? No Converse?
No.
Get out.
Get out. Get out.
We're all Converse.
Gang,
All you Converse
gang.
people.
So,
I'm here to converse, though.
Oh, get
that was
out.
good. That was good. I'm glad I got that out. I got a last week even. I got a pneumatic nail gun, which it's
What?
well, you need a
I thought we
air.
were talking about your tire.
Well, yeah,
He's gonna get there.
and so I got that, and so thankfully I was able to fill up my tire using the air
nails.
compressor.
You just
Air compressor.
He came back around.
It's the nail gun is powered by an air compressor,
Right.
and then, which is awesome.
what
There's
are
so
you
much
nail
fun.
gunning?
Walls and shit, like
You know, you could like hire someone who knows what they're doing to do that if you wanted to.
I know what I'm doing. It's fun. I had a conversation with Michael. Well, nail guns are fun.
Okay.
Okay, but I was able to refill my own tire. I just had
we
to go
flip that?
dig around and find.
I've got
the
an
right
air
part.
compressor in my car too, and I don't have a nail gun. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, mine's a big one that can shoot things.
Yeah,
like
mine's a
nails.
little one that inflates tires.
Something's gonna happen.
They're super cool though. I'd always just gone to the gas station and like paid the 75 cents.
That fucked me up when I moved here, by the way. Gas air is free in Georgia.
You can just go to like a tire shop and they'll fill it up for you for free.
I
well-
I
should also
never
probably
saw that shit till I moved
get it.
here.
Check
Oh no,
because
I'm
it
going
has a
to.
leak.
I'd filled it up, and then I was like, okay, cool, my tires filled, and then it was like went back down, so I gotta get.
Yeah.
But I was talking to Michael Jones about this the other couple weeks
Previous
ago.
electrician.
Mikey.
He was an electrician before he started working at Rooster Teeth, and I went
Smart
to
guy.
I went to like he did that whenever I was in college, studying film and whatnot, and then
Trade school.
as I got older, was like, oh, I like doing, like basically with COVID, I started doing like DIY building stuff as like.
Well, you're a homeowner.
Yeah, well, and it was like
Allegedly.
Yeah. Well, the bank would say otherwise. But like it's it's like something that's like, oh, it's a project to do on the weekend, something to keep my time like building stuff. It's like, oh, I'm learning how to do this. And he was like, yeah, I don't want to fucking do that. I did that for 5 or 10 years.
Yeah.
Like now it's like, so what he did for a job, I now do sort of as a hobby.
Yeah.
To relax. It's like a weird.
I feel you. Listen, if anything ever happens here and we don't do this anymore, I'm just gonna become a contractor.
Yeah.
Did I go to school for that? Absolutely not.
In Austin, shit, you're just mentioning that you're already backlogged on work to do.
Yeah, exactly. I already got plans. I already got people hitting me
I've been
up.
trying to get someone to come look at my fucking roof since the hailstorm last March.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What
Can I
kind
tell
of?
you something? You ain't got no tiles.
And nobody will come out. They're like, yeah. One place I called last week, they're like, yeah, we're booked through the summer. Like, really?
Do you not have like a home warranty that could come?
Don't fuck with home warranties.
Isn't that what it's for though?
Oh, they're all bullshit.
Insurance.
But you still, even so, you would still need to
Scam.
contact
A place.
someone to come out.
Yeah.
And then it would go.
And then they'll cover not it because they're like, well, we don't cover that. And you're like, what do I have you for? And they're just like,
what kind of roof do you have?
Metal.
Well, and also home insurance is different than home warranty.
yeah.
Yeah, I meant home insurance.
Yeah.
that-
Home warranty.
So-
American Home Shield.
The appraiser came out. The insurance came out. They're like, yeah, you need to do a lot of work on your roof.
So of course they did.
Yeah, like I
they're
would
just like,
love
sucks.
to. Could I get someone?
It's funny because Trevor and I were talking about this after the hailstorm a while back. He's like, we should still get our roof checked out. I'm like, they're going to tell us we need to do something to it because that's how they make their money.
You should get your insurance appraiser to do it because if there's something wrong with it, then they have to give you money.
So they're going to tell you, no, it's fine.
Right. So if anything, like they will tell you if something's actually wrong.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
That
As
makes
opposed
more
to, like,
sense. A company.
A company who's just going to be like,
'cause
yeah,
they're
there
gonna
is
be
stuff wrong.
I
with
mean,
it.
we can replace it.
Or
So I'm convinced when I go to the dentist, they tell me I have cavities just so they could charge me for fillings.
I've seen like X-rays people post online where it's like they have fake fillings where it's like there were never any cavities.
That's
They're just
fucked
like
up.
That's very
really
fucked up.
shallow
No,
fillings.
I know myself. I know mine are real.
I probably also have real cavities. I ate a lot of sugar.
I don't know how I had any cavities this last year.
That's crazy.
You don't have any?
I didn't have any last time I went. I was like so proud of myself.
Do you ever have cavities?
Yeah.
Okay.
I ate a lot of candy.
Yeah.
I ate
We
ice
know
cream
this.
for a meal.
Yeah.
Like
Maybe you just brush really well.
I try to, and I floss, regularly.
Hate flossing. How about a water pick?
Whatever.
know it's not the
Pick your
same.
poison.
Yeah, it's better than nothing though.
Better than that. That's what I'm saying.
Which is
better
the
than
majority
nothing.
of people.
Which is what I was doing before because it hurts.
I hate
I got
flossing. It's annoying. It's so tedious. I wish there needs to be something you could just put in your mouth, clamp
you
down,
bite
on,
down on it?
and maybe it'll just like go in between all the
Well, no,
teeth for you.
no, hold on.
That's how lazy I am. I don't want to floss myself.
Barbara, I just think we figured out how we're gonna retire.
The Flosser 3000.
Yeah.
My dentist appointments have gotten so much easier ever since I started flossing regularly.
Really?
Yeah, now it's like in and out, like nothing.
Yeah.
Like I used to be one of those people like, oh, that's all bullshit. You don't need to do that. Oh my god, it's
the
like
one-
night and day.
I'm the one bleeding down my shirt.
Did I tell you what happened to me with the dentist recently?
No.
So this was around the time I had COVID, which was
Oh.
like end of December. I started noticing because I was like feeling my lymph nodes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because like as you get sick, they could
They swell.
swell up. And there was a little bump along my jaw, not where my lymph nodes are, like on the top of the jaw.
The fuck?
And I was like, it was like a moving around thing. And I
That's
was like,
weird.
oh, maybe it's like I forget what it's called, but when you have
Swollen, like a swollen salivary gland.
like a cyst, basically. Like if you have like an infection on your gums or something, you could get that. And so I went to the doctor first, and he like felt around on my face for like felt like the longest time.
That was for him.
It might have been based on this doctor. He just kept feeling around. He goes, yeah, like I'm not often stumped, but I'm kind of stumped. He's like, it could be like you had a tooth infection and then like it resolved itself, but it left a little cyst there. And I was like, that's cool. He's like, I would recommend going to a dentist. And so I made an appointment at a dentist.
Wait, were you?
I was just
With
at
the
like
doctor.
Just it's an
Oh, I
alleyway.
thought this was a
No.
the dentist.
no, this was a doctor.
What do
this
you mean
was
go to a
just
dentist?
like a general practitioner.
Okay, GP.
And so I got an appointment at a dentist because the one I was with before I hated, so I had to get a new dentist.
okay,
And
it's a castle.
the doctor there was feeling around, and she was like,
The dentist?
the dentist,
Okay,
the
yeah.
dentist, like the main person.
they're a
dentist,
doctor,
not
right?
the hygienist,
The
like the
M-
actual
the
dentist.
dentist, yeah.
She was
Right?
feeling around, and she was like, it's possible it could be like, she's like, do you clench a lot? And I was like, every second of my life.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, it's possible that it could have been a muscle. That is like a muscle knot from clenching so hard. And I was like, that's
So you got to get a hypervolt.
So you went.
But she also wasn't really sure what it was either.
You go
And
back to
then-
that other doctor and say, "Could you check this one again?" And massage it.
Just a little bit. Yeah,
It's really
my
get
muscle
in
knot.
there. Yeah.
But then I was also like, well, I wanted to check if it was infection because I have this, but I also have this like sharp bit of like it feels like bone on the inside over here. And she felt around. She's like, oh yeah, that is protruding more than the other side. And she's like, that's also a sign of clenching. You could literally clench so much and so hard
That the bones spread?
The bones in your jaws fucking move and protrude out.
That's fucking
underneath like your tongue there.
I've had a lot of messed up stuff happen with my teeth and never that.
Chris, do you have a Dremel? We can fix this right now. Make some content. So is there any solution to that or
So you could do a couple things.
Night
One thing
guard.
she actually recommended, night guard for sure, which I will get, but she also recommended I get Botox in my masseter muscle. Huh? Because that apparently, if you clench really bad, your masseters are the muscle there that like essentially gets overworked and really tight, which like is not good for clenching and whatnot. And so it just relaxes your jaw.
so it's like you worked out your jaw
Yeah, I was
too
gonna say,
hard
is that
and it
going to
became
be
too
like
buff?
TikTok teen jaw?
No,
What?
I don't. It could be because like it's usually a sign that you have like an overworked masseter muscle is like you have a very square face
How do you work that?
just from clenching.
Chew a lot of bubble
Literally,
gum.
see, like when you clench, this muscle.
So you can work out your face.
Absolutely, you can.
There's muscles in your face. Of course.
How?
Like you
Ask
go,
Blaine.
like that.
But like, does it actually build? You can actually change your. Why don't
You
people?
can't change the shape of your jaw.
It's not a good thing because it means you are clenching your teeth.
Yeah.
And that is bad for you.
Well,
And
but
because
I'm
you are-
saying if someone was unhappy with the way they looked,
Well, now we're
mean,
getting
there's-
into mewing, and we do not have time for that conversation.
what is that?
mewing,
We don't. Next episode.
it's where you try to make your under the chin look thinner by essentially
Yeah.
bringing the tongue to the roof of your mouth, but not the front.
Yeah, and like keeping it there, and it makes like a vacuum. And apparently, if you do it long enough, it brings this up and like defines this.
Which is
So,
all.
but also you could just like
Her? Did you talk like this too?
No,
No,
it's
it's
basically
just
just a
at
ways
rest.
to at rest, or if you're posing in a picture or something, people typically
yeah.
do it to try to.
Apparently, because the doctor is like, it's like usually like a nasal breathing thing. Like if you like are like me, or very stuffy, and have to breathe through your mouth, it like can cause you to have a weak chin.
Interesting.
But also, if you eat a lot of sugar and snacks like me, that can also cause you to have a weak chin.
Weak chin.
You like the candy like Mr. Demarais over
Yeah,
here?
I'm a little candy boy.
A little candy fiend, a little
I'm a
candy goblin.
guy. I got chocolate shrooms in my cup holder right now. I'm thinking about.
candies. But yeah, that's something I might do.
That doesn't sound fun.
No, I mean the thing is that I've seen so many people talk about the relief it gives them, especially like I've had TMJ and all that stuff too.
Me too.
Damn, dude.
So just like finally having some sort of like, my jaw could be relaxed and it's not constantly just like this.
Yeah, I've also got TMJ. It's like one of the reasons I hated going to the dentist so much because I was like worried about like leaving my jaw open or like
Really?
the TMJ acting up.
Yeah.
That sucks.
It's like a disorder
mouth
where,
jaw.
yeah, like like there's like a little cartilage disc back here where your jaw comes together, and like for some people, if you have TMJ, you can like slip out,
Yeah.
and you can either like cause pain.
Oh, I think you told me about this.
Yeah, I get it on
without
both
the
sides.
acronym.
Yeah,
It's very painful,
No,
and it just makes
sucks.
everything suck.
bad.
Yeah, and you could try to like massage it, but like man, it does not work.
Yeah, and I have not had an attack for a while, so
That's
I'm like
good.
really. Oh no! I'm worried. Like,
no.
it's gonna come back with like a vengeance.
No, that's fine. You're good. You're fine. I'm manifesting it.
Thank you. I'll manifest it right into my TMJs.
Oh, no.
A few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago, we talked about it on the podcast about how you can like submit a request to the FBI for them to send you any files they have on
I
you.
would love that.
I did it.
Did you get it?
I got it. They turned it around really fast, honestly.
Really? Well, there wasn't enough on you.
I had nothing. They have no file on me.
nothing on him.
Yeah,
mine
but
is-
I was really disappointed.
Mine is just one page, and it's just the 15 tweets of me telling our governor to meet me in the parking lot of the Mueller HEB for fisticuffs. That's my whole dossier.
Yeah.
They have like a web portal where you go and like you fill out your own personal information
But now you're on a list.
Now they're like, wait a minute, what
Why
does this guy want to know?
Yeah, why does he want to
we
know?
know,
Hey,
yeah.
I'm
keep an eye on
honestly
him.
surprised there's nothing on you.
Yeah.
Me too.
Well, because especially like we've talked about some, controversial things on the show
Yeah.
alone, which we've been doing for like fucking 18 years or whatever.
Almost
it is.
19, you guys.
Well, they didn't start it right away.
Ah.
You guys started RT Podcast in 2000.
December 2008.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. To December? Yeah, December 08. Yeah, I did a lot of fucked up stuff when I was young too.
And now
I'm surprised none of that
and now
stuff
you're
was
getting
on
a
there.
pilot's license. I just feel like all of these things are like reasons why
yeah.
you should have at least a one-page dossier.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Can you request other people?
No.
No.
I think it's illegal. Like, you can get in a lot of trouble if you do that.
Okay.
And as part of it,
You said that like I was about to.
no. I want to be very
You
clear
asked
about
like
that.
you were about
Yeah.
to.
And like,
No,
as-
I'm just curious. Just,
You said okay like you were sad.
you have to
okay.
know a lot. Like, even so, you have to know a lot about the person you're asking about. Like, I had to send in a lot of like old addresses I've lived at.
Oh, yeah,
like,
those are my
old
favorite.
phone numbers, like tons of old information that I don't know that really anybody else would have anyway to begin with. Like, even me, I lived through that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit, what was that? Like, where did I live? Like, trying to like remember old stuff.
I signed up for Clear finally.
Yeah,
at the
dude.
airport.
It's the
second act 5 of the
best.
show.
It's the best.
But I did it at the airport, and they do the thing where like you're completing your sign in,
Yeah.
and there's a page where it says which address have you not lived
yeah.
at? And
You're like,
one of the
throws you
addresses
off.
listed there was when I first moved to Austin. I stayed with Jack for 2 or 3 months when I was looking for apartments. He let me stay in his guest
Yeah.
room, so that was an address that I had technically, and so that was on the list. And I was like, haven't stayed there
you
either.
were like,
I was like, what?
How'd they know that?
I was like, there's 2 on here I haven't
Yeah.
ever lived at, and I was like, oh, that was Jack's place.
How'd they know that?
I think it's because when I got my social security number,
Yeah.
that's what it is here.
yeah,
You get
you're
a sign-
probably
you
when
get a
you're
sign
Probably
one.
gave that
moving,
address.
It's she was
I
imported.
probably had to
herself.
give. I think I
Yeah.
had to give an address of where I would be staying.
Okay.
What's fucked up with me is like, for some reason, in like the Gus file,
Yeah.
whatever it is, wherever it exists.
Well, apparently
Don't
it's
hit
not.
our
It doesn't
other-
exist.
hey.
Well, no,
Leave the other symbol.
the file that does exist, one of the streets I used to live on is misspelled. So when it's like, verify a street you've lived on, I'm like, I haven't lived on any of these, but I know it's this one, which is a misspelling of a street I actually
Did
lived
they
on.
intentionally misspell it, or
No, I don't know. It's just
maybe
wrong.
you didn't
Weird.
act. Maybe
maybe
they
you
spelled the street.
did you
wrong.
Berenstein Bears it?
They definitely spelled the street wrong.
No, but the street sign was misspelled.
No. I don't want to say.
Don't
I don't want
say
to
it.
say the
Yeah,
street
yeah.
here.
Just make up a new one.
I'm going to show you.
Is it like a really straightforward spelling?
Planter
It'll
bird.
get the last line here in this Google Doc.
Uh-huh.
So you see, it's like they obviously misspelled
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like it's not like they misspelled it into a word that makes sense.
How did they misspell 7th?
Is there a way, man?
Use an F.
It is.
Seventh.
There's nothing you can do about changing the name of the street that you live on, huh? Other than
No.
moving.
Other
Like,
than moving,
I feel
yeah.
like got a really
Tough shit.
Yeah. You're like, I found this great place. I really like it, this house, but it's Vagina Street.
I would love.
I
know,
live on
like-
Vagina Street.
I prefer like vulva bird.
What about Vaginal Canal or whatever?
Vaginal Canal.
What about
that actually could
what-
be a street
Hear
because
me
there's like
out.
canal, like
Canal.
Canal Street,
Yeah.
Vaginal Canal Street.
It's funny.
Clit Lane.
Clit Lane?
Years ago, I was looking.
Avenue.
I was looking at houses here in Austin. I was
Clit
looking
Circle.
when I was looking for my first house to live in, and
roundabout.
there was a house I really liked, but it was off of Confederate Avenue,
Oh.
and I was
Oh,
like,
Jesus.
I am not going to live on a fucking street
See,
called
that's what I'm talking.
Confederate.
That's what I'm talking about.
Was
Like,
Texas even in the Confederacy?
Yes.
yeah, we're like fucking in it.
Texas,
Not
is absolutely
not
in the
currently.
Confederacy.
No,
but like
Maybe.
south.
South.
do we have Texas during the Civil War?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Juneteenth is because of Texas.
Ah, I thought that was like a. Anyway, we don't have to get into it.
But
I don't
yeah,
know dick
that's
about Texas.
exactly what I'm talking about. Where you're like, cool house, but also racist street. Or, you know, like,
It's like it's a really
Yeah.
cool house.
Well, I
not
mean,
going to live on that street.
I mean, I'm from Georgia. Every other school or street is like Robert E. Lee Boulevard or like
it's-
Robert E. Lee High.
or
Like, it's
Peach.
just- Or peach tree. Well, there's
Also,
1,000 peach trees in Ponce de Leon for some reason.
Does every city in America have an MLK Street?
Yeah, that's where they put all
Most.
the black people. It's usually not a good place to live.
it's
That's
because-
not. It's an, that's just except Austin is the only place where I've ever seen an MLK Street that wasn't in like a predominantly black or like underserved neighborhood.
Really?
Yeah, it's so expensive to live on. When I
It's because
moved,
35. The reason is most MLK streets used to be Division Street.
yeah,
The
that's
thing
how
is,
you know where they were, where the
Right.
redlining was happening for the black people to live.
in Austin, Division Street was
Highway.
East Avenue, which became 35.
35, yeah.
That's why MLK that runs
Yeah.
north to south. MLK runs east to west.
Yeah, and that's how it all got fucky. Because when I moved here, my dad almost fought the realtor because I was looking at apartments and it was like a little too pricey. And she was like, "Oh, look on MLK," and my dad was like, "Why?" Because we're black. We gotta look on MLK, and then we looked at it and we were like, "Oh, these are very expensive, actually." Platform,
Quite nice.
$2,000 for a studio? I think not. But yeah, Austin's the only place I've ever seen.
I think it'd be so cool if they all connected. I know it's like impossible.
MLK Street?
Oh, you mean
like like one giant highway, but it was just
They do all connect eventually.
I'll kill you,
don't all streets connect eventually?
That's what I mean.
Chris. I'll kill you.
Oh.
Because they
God, there's a way,
all in one from another to another to another.
Yeah,
except for the MLK Street in Hawaii.
Yeah.
you're right. Fuck.
How long do you think it would take someone to drive every single street?
I don't think you could.
No,
Where?
I mean, it would be hundreds of years.
No, I don't think. Oh, you mean so like
they'd still be making
guess-
new streets too.
Right. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's possible.
no, not
Definitely not in a
well,
lifetime.
depending on how you interpret time, like you said earlier. If you only live time in the present,
Chris, I'm gonna kill you.
True. Hey, I'm glad you're taking the lesson to heart.
well, here's what I'll say about that. Think about that. They don't know why. I think it's electrons. They don't know why all electrons are the exact same. And
Well-
I'm sure the internet will tell me if I'm wrong on this. They don't know why all electrons are the exact same.
Electron expert.
Yeah.
So there's a theory that it's the same electron moving through time.
Well, yeah. I mean, energy's
What do you
Like-
mean?
What do you mean
That
by
there's
that?
only
They're
one
shorter,
electron in the
right?
universe,
Yes.
and
only
that
one.
It moves. That's how they. That's
It moves so quickly through time that it could be all of us.
That's it. Doesn't. It's just how we're thinking about time in a way
well,
that
I
like
think. Okay, here's my theory about time.
with
I
a
think.
third dimensional perspective.
I think all time exists at once.
Okay.
So, like, I feel like we're experiencing time right now, but there's also like where we're happening right now at the exact same time. There's like I don't know some dude like in a stagecoach like going through or whatever, and I think that's what ghosts are.
But that's what electrons. That would explain electron.
So it's the one
ghosts.
electron universe
See?
postulate, which was proposed by John Wheeler in a telephone call to Richard Feynman in the spring of 1940.
Feynman's fucking dope.
It's the hypothesis that all electrons and positrons are actually manifestations of a single entity moving backwards and forwards in time.
So I wasn't.
I mean, you weren't far off on your explanation.
I was. That's exactly what I said.
I don't know how widely accepted this is,
Yeah.
okay?
I
I
didn't
think my-
say
I
it's
think
like
my
this
theory
is
makes
my
sense.
theory. I just said, hey, there's this thing, and it made me think about that
Yeah.
one day at a time. But what if we're living all days at the same time?
That's what we said the same thing. I think all
Yeah.
the days are happening all of time is happening at the same time.
Well, 'cause
because
it's
how
a
come?
circle, right?
Because how come I
Time's
can look?
flat
How come we
plane.
have a telescope
Push them together.
that if we look out far enough into the universe, we can see the past?
Yeah.
We need to talk about how we might find out that aliens exist.
No, they do.
Oh no, they absolutely do.
We're Florida.
We found
and they're
out they
avoiding
existed,
us.
but it's in the future already.
Yeah.
But because of the telescope,
The James Webb?
the James Webb telescope that is now out on its little journey.
I hope we see something
And
crazy.
we're probably going to see some pretty cool shit. But
Yeah.
I heard that NASA, I don't know like how big this project is right now or like how much funding it's been given, but NASA is essentially preparing a group of people to start workshopping ideas on how to essentially break the news to the public that we have found like imagery of other civilizations and other like
my thing
life.
is
We're not ready.
it's impossible
No.
for there not to be.
Well, also just like is that not partially like the crumbling the foundation of
Yeah,
religion?
just hide it. Just don't tell anyone.
Just don't tell anyone. Well, my thing is like
I don't think that's possible.
But
though. I
why?
think, like there's certain
because the
write it-
Bible only said he made the heavens and the earth.
Yeah, write
So
it. Write
you-
it in ancient Greek, like
Yeah.
that scientist who saw penguins doing fucked up things in Antarctica, so that only super educated people can understand.
Yeah.
Wait, what about what? What did these penguins do?
So I talked about this a few months ago on the podcast.
Chris needs to know about the penguins.
Yeah.
When
I like
when
penguins.
researchers and people first started exploring Antarctica, they were horrified at the awful things they saw
Yeah.
penguins doing.
What?
Yeah.
And they didn't think the rest of the world was ready for it.
Penguins
So they
are
wrote about it in
so
ancient
fucked
Greek
up.
so that only like people in academic circles could read about it and understand.
What were the penguins doing?
Like necrophilia.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
like-
They still do that?
Yeah, they do all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff.
Penguins.
Yeah.
I mean, animals are pretty.
Penguins love necrophilia
crazy.
a lot more
They
than
really do.
I think more than most animals.
It's apparently it's off the wall. They had to write about it in ancient Greek to avoid Chris finding out about it. Sorry,
Yeah.
Chris. We had
It
to,
worked.
we had to
I don't-
show this
I
one.
don't read ancient Greece.
But yeah, I don't think. I mean, we can't even. If the last 2 years have taught me anything, we're definitely not ready for that.
No.
We're
Well,
not
here-
ready
here's what I'll
to,
say.
to contact.
You could publish it,
People won't
and
believe it.
people just won't believe it. People still don't believe dinosaurs existed. So,
Yeah.
like,
So
you know,
you're telling them. Also, I don't think as a race we can't comprehend things that aren't carbon-based life forms either.
It's always the thing that drives me crazy about aliens in movies. Is like they all always are vaguely humanoid
Yeah.
in shape, right?
I'm
they
like,
always
no.
got 2 legs,
No,
2
they look-
arms, they got a
this is some
head.
fucked up shit.
Yeah, it's like no, we got to see some really fucked up
Like,
stuff that we don't understand,
so-
like
so
in
it-
Arrival.
Arrival, I was going to say,
Yeah.
it was really interesting the way
Yeah.
they did their aliens.
Yeah.
Is I can't remember, they like
wanna watch that movie again
watched
now.
like
It's really good.
the way like water flowed or something.
Yeah.
It was like not it didn't move in the way that
But even then,
Animals are-
it's something that we're not going to be able to comprehend.
Yeah.
Like angels in the Bible.
Oh, I thought you were saying angels in Neon Genesis Evangelion.
No,
angels in the outfield.
Yeah,
It's a lot of angels to choose from.
yeah. But biblical angels fucked up. Would love
Yep.
to see one day.
I
Wait,
just
what,
like.
what about these angels?
You
I
never,
think
have
it
you
would
ever
be
seen
cool
them?
for that to happen in our lifetime, though.
Yeah.
Ooh, angels?
No,
No,
like
aliens.
discovering
Aliens?
other
Yeah.
life.
Have you never read like a biblical description of an angel?
No.
Oh.
It's like, pull up a picture.
I'm looking up a
isn't it?
photo.
Sorry, I focus more on hell in my studies.
Okay, so there's a reason why every time an angel shows up, they say, "Be not afraid," because they're just like this. It's like a mass of like fire and eyes and wind and dirt and like spheres and like and like you can't. That's why when they show up, they're like, "Be not afraid."
So should I be offended when Trevor goes, "You look like an angel"?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
Be
look
like,
like
"Ugh, thank you."
eldritch horror.
That
Yeah,
explains the in the finale of Good Morning from Hell. Spoiler.
yeah.
We go to heaven,
Oh.
and there's and Andrew was playing an angel, and he's making jokes, and he's like, "Oh, just look into my 5,000 fiery eyes."
Yeah.
It's
creepy as
fucked.
fuck.
Yeah. That's why we paint them as like humans with wings, because otherwise it'd just be like, I don't want to do this religion anymore.
Yeah, this
I
is
don't want to go to
scary.
This is
heaven.
scary. I don't want to. You telling me it's full of these guys?
Not
And this is the good place.
great show,
I'm like,
by the
well,
way.
what they got in the other place then? They're like, oh, it's that, but they're also torturing you, and it's like, oh,
No, thank you.
okay.
That's a weird thing to think about. Angels, like, well, but do we become angels when we die?
No, that's never. It also is not in the Bible that we go to heaven. That's another thing.
Wait,
Really?
What?
Isn't that,
everyone-
like kind of what everyone is
No,
like.
so but if you
being
read
a
the
good person
Bible,
for?
what happens
literally.
is when
Yeah.
you die, you're in purgatory essentially until the end
Revelations.
days of Revelations, in which everyone comes back to Earth. Well, Earth becomes like a fiery cesspit for a while,
Cool.
but then Jesus comes back, takes the reins, and then all the people who died who were good, you get to come back.
to live on this fiery planet?
No, to live on like the redeemed version of Earth. I think that's what it is.
New Earth.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you're Mormon, you get your own planet when you die, which is cool. If you're good.
We don't believe in heaven.
You know
and
what
the
religions don't
duty.
do?
What?
Tell
They
the
don't
truth.
sell themselves by what you get when you win.
No. Yeah.
When
no,
you
they
win?
don't.
Well, if you win.
Yeah.
Like,
Because
hey, sign up
only-
for this religion. And when you die, here's the afterlife. They
Only
don't-
one person's ever gone to heaven in the Bible, and he didn't even die. He rode a flaming chariot up to heaven.
Who was it?
It was what's his name?
Samuel. Like, I don't know.
It was like what's his name? Was it Abraham's favorite son?
Yeah.
Job,
No.
don't know.
Job.
Many-
I did read Job.
Isaac, Jacob.
One of those guys.
I'm just saying kind of like biblical names at this point.
I went to
Bible.
Sunday school
Yeah.
for so many years.
Someone said I have fun Bible facts, and I'm like, when you're gay, you read the whole Bible 3 times just to triple check that you're going to hell. But also, I went to Lutheran school
But
up
you're
until
not.
like 3rd grade.
Isn't it in the Bible? It talks about essentially pedophilia, and people have interpreted it as homophobic.
Well, that's not even the thing. Okay, so most of the homophobic stuff in the Bible is misinterpreted in a way that you can't even describe because there was no word for homosexuality in the original translation. And also homosexuality as a sin doesn't turn up until like a King James version of the Bible that was released in like the 30s or 40s.
Right.
Because before that, it also, the main time you see it is they're just saying don't do it like on high holy days or like in the church.
There's also a lot of animal species that have homosexuality.
Yeah.
In the species.
Yeah,
Which-
it's not.
Like
Yeah, it's
penguins.
not. Yeah,
And yet somehow for humans, it's
Well, let's not base our morality based off penguins, apparently.
In chat, Fluffy Joe said the Bible sounds metal as fuck.
no. Okay, here's my
Old
thing.
Testament is metal.
My thing is, here's my thing. Again, I've read the Bible so many times. A, the Bible is mental as fuck. B, God is petty as shit. And C, Jesus is a cool motherfucker. And it's just like, I feel like canon Jesus is so much better than fanon Jesus. Because canon Jesus is just like, I think taxpayers should die. Or was it taxers? Who are the people that tax you?
Tax collectors.
Yeah, he's like, I think tax collectors should die, and I also think that rich people shouldn't go to heaven, and that's just what I believe.
man.
Don't charge interest on money. I
Yeah.
don't know.
He's just like, anyway, I'm hanging out with these whores. I'm going to bring back this guy's homosexual concubine that died because he's real sad about
So what you're
it.
saying is if Jesus was alive today, he'd be a raging liberal.
Christians would hate Jesus if he was alive. Jesus literally resurrects the gay lover of a Roman soldier because he's so sad about it. Jesus
Wow.
Man,
bitch slapped a
I feel
preacher
like I
in
learned more
church for
today than I have
mispreaching.
in many years.
I'm just saying, the Bible's real cool if you like don't go to church.
It's pretty metal.
It's also like one of those things, like you talked about a translation, based on the book from the 30s or 40s. It's like, unless you know these ancient languages it was written in,
Yeah.
you can like do your own translation. Like things are going to get changed along the
Yeah.
way. Like what you're reading now is probably a translation of a translation of
Exactly.
a translation of some kind. It's like playing the telephone game. It's like, yeah. Stuff's going to get...
King James version of the
misinterpreted.
Bible is literally a game of telephone in which one guy who translated it went, I think gays are icky, and I feel like he probably just got his heart broken by some guy. And I was like, I don't think anyone should be gay because it made me cry one time. That's my own personal belief. But it's literally just like one dude was just like, I think this word should be homosexual. Do you guys agree? And everyone was like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
But before that, it literally was just like, I'm pretty sure it just had to do with either some sort of like infidelity or like choosing like a concubine over like a family.
There's also, I think, one part in particular where they talk about a man laying with a boy and how that was wrong. But
And
I think
that's
it was,
wrong,
It was
yeah.
about pedophilia,
not homosexuality.
Right. And so it's been obviously, like many things, misinterpreted and used to essentially further certain agendas of people's personal...
And everybody focuses on that, but what they don't focus on is the 3 lines around it, which are like, don't eat shellfish. If your brother dies, you have to marry his wife. And if you're on your period, you're not allowed in the temple.
Wow.
In chat, who is this? Sheikah Baby says, I need a series of Kayla breaking down the Bible now.
I will absolutely do that.
That should be your new podcast.
Well, I do have a new podcast coming. I can do a Bible episode.
You should.
I know
that's
so
part
much
of it, right?
about the Bible. It's stupid.
I know hardly anything, so I will listen to that episode and learn a lot.
You know what? Also, I'm sorry. Last thing, there's that other thing that happened with the dude and his daughters and the angels.
What?
You're gonna have to be more specific.
I don't know.
So
which
there's
one-
this,
yeah,
so these two. So people think Sodom and Gomorrah got collapsed because of the gay sex they were having. But they actually were destroyed because they weren't hospitable to outsiders. Like a country that we may or may not live in. So these people came to this city and they weren't from around these parts, and they were like, get the fuck out of here, we hate you, if we see you here we'll kill you. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to having gay sex, unrelated. And they were angels in human form.
And so then they didn't have all their flaming eyes.
Yeah, so they were in human form. I think it's like Saul or some shit, I don't know. So he's like, whoa, hey, you can stay with me. And then an angry mob finds out that he's like housing them, and he's like, oh, this is good, trigger warning. He's like, bring those 2 guys out, we're gonna like murder and rape them essentially. And he's like, whoa, that's not hospitable, I'm gonna keep these guys, but you can take my daughters instead.
Oh my god.
And God is like, see, that's how you do hospitality, I'm gonna burn the city down, but not you and your family, you can stay.
And let your daughters be fucking tortured.
Well, I mean, no, they got saved too. Well, they got saved initially, but yeah, I think that's this. I think is that the Pillar of Salt guy.
Yeah, no, it was his wife Ruth, right, who turned back and looked.
She turned
at
back, but the daughters, at the end of the day, were fine.
So it's funny you bring this up. I read this article last year, and I have never had an opportunity to bring it up in the podcast until now for some reason. I read a story about an ancient city in what's current day Jordan.
Okay.
That is speculated to have been destroyed by a meteorite that burst over it in the air. And they say that that might be the origin of the story of Sodom and Gomorrah in the Bible.
It was a meteor.
Right. It was a meteor that blew up in the sky. They said that it leveled the city. The city was called...
that makes so much more sense.
Tal El Haman, which was home to, I think it said 8,000 people. And I said that a meteor or an asteroid blew up, created a fireball that caused the temperature on the ground to get to 3,600 degrees and caused a shockwave that went over 700 miles an hour out from it.
Wow.
And
that's insane.
Like, so it's like, from their perspective, it's like, a heavenly body smiting a city from the sky.
Yeah, because you don't know what else. Also, someone in chat fixed it. It is the story of Lot, and the King James translation from pedophilia, the homosexuality, was a German guy in 1942. Germany doing a lot of cool things in 1942.
That's an interesting time for Germany, huh? Right?
Real interesting time. Real shaking and moving.
Like a lot of people in 1940s Germany were not very accepting of people.
Okay, which is fucked up because again, pre-Weimar Germany was like the Harlem Renaissance happening, but like in like the earlier, like late 1800s, early 1900s, where they literally were one of the most progressive societies in terms of like accepting like gay people and like other religions and like everything. Like that was the place to be. And then, we all know what happened post-Weimar. But in Germany, fuck. Sometimes I think about like historical events where I'm like, if it had just gone the other way, like we have flying cars now. If like the Glass Night didn't happen, like would we just have like a perfect society?
I watched the Eternals the other day.
Yeah.
And there's one of the characters who has the power to essentially like make people think whatever he wants them to think or do whatever he wants them to do, essentially.
Yeah.
And I was thinking legitimately, I was like, I wonder if that. Let's say someone had that power in real life and they just made everyone in the world think the same thing, or like that you don't want to fight each other, like just accept each other and live peacefully. Like what the world would actually be like. Like would there still be crime? Would there still be like
I think he was right.
But there'd be no free will.
No, but only those like bigger thoughts, like respect everyone and love everyone and like let people live their lives happily.
Just take
and
out the bad.
Yeah.
But
essentially
leave
like
everything else.
Yeah.
Like just that kind of mentality. Like if every single person felt that way and thought that way, what it would be like.
It'd be good.
Yeah.
I would think so. But it's like, are there other
everybody wants free will. Listen, we live in a free will individualistic society right now, and look where that's gotten us.
I watched The Eternals recently too. They came out on Disney Plus last week or the week before.
Yeah. So you'd be able to watch.
I love being able to watch movies like that pretty quickly at home. I felt like they tried to jam too much into one movie. That was my one complaint.
It's
I felt
a
like
long movie.
there was
eternity.
thousands of years, and it's like it was hard to learn all the characters and then to care about them too.
You know what they did have time for though? That way too long sex scene.
Oh yeah,
I hated that. I saw that movie in IMAX and I was just like, I've never seen a Marvel movie where it was this unchaste, and I don't like this actually. And this is going on for way too long. We were sitting next to a family. There's like a kid. And I was like, they're fucking.
What's the worst scene you ever saw with your parents?
The worst scene. So this wasn't necessarily a bad scene, but this was like the first time I was definitely uncomfortable watching a movie with my parents. Is when they rented Top Gun on VHS, and there's like the sex scene with Tom Cruise and Kelly McGillis, and I must have been like 10. I don't know. I mean, like, me feeling weird, like, I shouldn't be watching this with my parents right now. It's really weird. Like, I think I left the room to go get popcorn. You know, I was like, I'll be right back.
I'm gonna go make some popcorn. Yeah. That's what you called it from that point on. I'm gonna go make some popcorn.
Esther, you want to go make some popcorn?
Oh, disgusting.
Popcorn turns me on now.
The first one I remember, because obviously there's been many. There's some Johnny Depp movie that's
Good start.
again biblical.
Johnny Depp movie that's biblical.
And he's like, I don't know, like trying to Da Vinci Code it. I don't know, but I think he finds a woman who's like Mary Magdalene, and I don't know, he like fucks her in front of a burning church or something.
Nice.
I don't know, dude. It's like I was a child and I didn't know what was going on, but my mom told me to close my eyes because like she was watching it while she did my hair. Of course, I looked, and it was just like, well, I don't know what they're doing, but I don't like it.
They make popcorn.
I feel like that's a lot of like experiences.
The Ninth Gate?
Yes, that's the movie.
Never heard of that.
Me neither.
That's the movie. And
Ninth Gate? Okay. I mean, I love Johnny Depp.
And he like fucks like a red-haired woman or something. Yeah. I remember her being very pale.
Yeah, because it's like angels and demons.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I remember
he's a good-looking man.
Biblical and him having sex with this woman, and that's all I know about that movie. And my mom told me to close my eyes.
I don't think it's the worst, but the one I remember the most was seeing Titanic in theaters.
And
I was sitting next to my dad, and it's that scene where she like comes out and she like it's the first time I ever saw boobs that weren't my mom's boobs.
As a paying customer.
And
I remember like I rewatched it over and over as an 11-year-old with the VCR.
But I just remember being so embarrassed that I was next to my dad, and I was like, my dad's looking at boobs that aren't my mom's. Like,
I just remember being like, oh my God, there are boobs. I've never seen boobs before.
Yeah, because we were like,
I was like 10.
Yeah, I guess that would have made sense. Because it came out in 91.
No, what the fuck's wrong with you?
94.
No,
97.
97.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was 8.
I was 3.
I was like 90. We were 10 and 90. Oh.
Normally my brain like clicks to those dates pretty well. I don't know what the hell.
Kayla was 3 when that movie came out.
I saw that here in Austin at the theater over at Lincoln Village.
That's crazy. I saw it at the theater over in South Park Meadows, but it was in 3D, bitch.
So you got to see 3D boobs.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Did they make those like pop out on the side?
Yeah, I hope so. Ow, my eye.
It's cold in the movie.
I think the worst thing that I ever saw in theaters was
with your parents.
On the big screen.
On the big screen. It wasn't with my parents.
I thought that's what the question was.
Well, I guess
you asked
broader sense. It was my grandmother.
Okay.
That's so much worse.
So she would like take us to go see movies, and I don't think it was Varsity Blues. It was like a whipped cream bikini.
Hot.
I was sitting next. It was hot, but not with your grandmother. She comes out with a whipped cream bikini. She's like, "I'm gonna go get changed" or something like that. And she comes out. Do you want whipped cream on the shake? And then she comes out. You hear that, and then she. How do you like your shake? You want ready for your milkshake? Something like that. I
like how whatever character you're doing sounds like Matthew McConaughey.
I've never seen this movie, but I'm looking at the whipped cream bikini right now, and this would I would hate to see this with my grandmother.
Oh dear.
No, they parody that in Not Another Teen Movie with Chris Evans, where he has the whipped cream and the banana. Yeah.
Perfect. So, how'd you feel?
That's my favorite. That's my favorite Chris Evans movie.
I saw that, and that was terrible. There was one instance that was worse that I can think of. And it was in theaters. At some point, like I remember, like making content. We make a lot of like somewhat mature content.
Sure.
And there was some time where I was like, I'm going home for Christmas. I want to show my grandmother some stuff that I made. But I was trying to make like a clean cut of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like editing. I'd gotten a bunch of content. And I edited it and was like cutting out all the curse words.
You did a super cut.
And like cleaning it up. And in that cut was a simple walk into Mordor.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the extended cut. And in the extended cut, which I had forgotten.
You hang dong.
there's a whole conversation about me and Carrie and Nick, who's in it, trying to suck our own dick. There's a whole conversation about it. It was like,
How long was the conversation?
how long was the conversation?
About 7 minutes.
Well, it depends on where you're measuring from. But
But I knew that was
it was
left
like
in.
I was like, and I remember, because it's like an hour long or something. So I was like, I'd edited it recently,
Yeah.
So I knew where all the things, but I forgot about the extended cut. I forgot about that scene, and what?
No, someone in chat said the thing I was going to say. You can keep going.
Anyway, so I was watching it with like my family, whole family, and grandmother, being like, oh, here's some stuff, because I hadn't shown her anything since like forever.
Yeah.
And here's some stuff that I've been making, and it's all like good. And then I'm like, oh my, I had this like,
You were Kevin
oh,
from
suck
Home Alone.
me, because I can't.
Oh no.
And I was like, I had to leave the room, and it just kept going.
Why didn't you fast forward?
Or like stop it.
Because one, that would have been like,
Do you think she would have been like, no, play it?
You could be like,
no, because I didn't realize it till it was like, I didn't realize that it was like, I had forgotten to cut it until like it was already playing. It was like mid conversation, and then I was like, what do I do? Like it was like, and then they didn't have a remote. They had to go through and hold it, and I just like ran. And then
That
my
makes it
sister
better.
came in. She's like, I can't be in there.
Chris.
Yeah. Eric said it's classic Lord of the Rings stuff. It's just like Frodo.
And that was the worst.
I hate
experience.
that for you.
Well,
Yeah.
that's because it's you. It's
It's
in
literally me
content.
talking about trying to suck my own
So
dick.
yeah, now your whole family knows that you tried to suck your own dick. And
Everyone has
and
done it. Every
couldn't,
guy has
I
done.
assume.
Every guy. That was a whole.
I read a great comment about this phenomenon on Reddit once.
I wouldn't say sucking expert. I'd say I can't suck
Can
my own.
I? Okay, but did you try to go over or
Lower
under?
third. Sorry.
Did you try to go over or under?
What does that mean?
For
Did you
some-
try to go over?
How
or
would you
under?
go under?
Under. Your
I
spines
go.
don't.
I go
bend that
under. I
way.
feel like I'm more flexible that way.
What?
How?
What the?
Instead of just going like this?
That seems way harder.
But it's right there. Whereas
What?
you'd have to.
You have a,
No,
a
no, no,
spine,
like-
right?
Like if you like lay down and like.
Oh, you mean like what position?
Yeah.
versus.
Versus.
I thought you were saying go like
I feel like
the.
because the way that
I
your
thought you
body-
meant going
Like-
backwards.
That's what I thought.
Because
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
thought you meant instead of 1 to 9 o'clock, you were going.
no,
Like,
because I feel like the weight of your body, like put like when you do like.
Well, I haven't
yoga,
tried that.
but
I haven't tried it
pushing your
since I was,
legs
like,
down.
a teenager. So
You're like I haven't tried it for 4 days, but
Yeah.
I
Every
had
Wednesday.
I had something potentially that level of embarrassing happen to me earlier today when we were at work. I sit between Kayla and Chris. Kayla sits to my left and Chris sits to my right. And I saw on Reddit someone had posted like a Steam screenshot of a game.
Mm-hmm.
And the screenshot they posted was a game that was called Sex with Hitler. And I was like, that can't be a real
not
game.
real.
That's Photoshop. And I looked it up on Steam, and then like instantly this super graphic video game trailer started playing. I was like,
Okay,
I was like, whoop, I better close that. What the fuck?
that's how I felt trying to find the clip from the screener today.
Oh no.
well, that was like that. Well, this was by myself when I was
Yeah.
trying to explain that idea for that video, and I was like, oh, it's this, but this. I was just looking up cartoon porn
Yeah.
essentially because I was trying to explain the concept.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
I will say this: have y'all ever gone to a meeting
Uh-huh.
No.
with a laptop
Uh-huh.
and you open up your laptop, there's
Yeah.
porn?
No.
No.
Not a
Because
single
I don't look
time.
at porn on my work laptop.
Here's the deal: I went 3 years to this company where I was using my personal computer as my work computer because I didn't have a fucking work computer.
Hot
I
porn.
did it for 10, I think.
Yeah, so it's like
I mean, I would still maybe as I'm finishing using said porn, close it.
I've never looked at porn on my work computer.
no. Again, there
This is
was I
personal.
didn't have a work computer.
You have a phone
Personal
though.
computer.
This was like you're too young for this. Like
I used to look at porn in like the computer room when the computer had its own room.
I think he said you're saying that your phone was not really porn capable
It wasn't good for looking
at
at
this
porn.
point in time. So you
was
have to
this
use
a
your computer.
computer you use for work or a computer given to you by work?
No, it was my computer.
Okay.
That
Used for
I
work.
didn't have a work computer.
Okay.
It was a laptop.
Okay, that's more reasonable. I thought you were using your RT issued MacBook Pro 13-inch.
No, I was using the
its
only.
mother, 13
I'd had a computer at some point, and then it gotten absorbed for editorial whenever
Yeah.
I stopped editing.
Okay.
And then I didn't have a computer, and I was
Okay.
like, at some point, I was like, well, I'm just.
How am I supposed to watch porn now?
Yeah. No,
So
okay,
I
that-
had one
that
laptop.
makes
It was
more-
my personal laptop.
makes
The
more
only
sense.
laptop in which I had to watch
I
porn.
give it to you.
Yeah.
That makes much more
So
sense.
you're, yeah, Kayla
I'll
approved.
give it to you.
But no, I've never accidentally left porn
No,
up on a
I
computer.
It didn't
that I
like.
had at
It
work.
was just one of the. It didn't like start
It's
making
worse when-
noise.
it's
It was
worse
just
when you see the
opening up,
tab.
and you're like, I'm gonna close it back down. I'll just take notes by hand.
Instead of just going exit.
I have had
No,
like,
it was too many tabs.
I have tried to like pull something
geez.
up on my phone and like
There was
had
something
a-
still there.
like not even that. It's just like okay, I have an Android, so like when I use Chrome, I don't know if it does on iPhones, but you can now you have like tab groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have one tab group that's just like
Things you enjoy.
things to go back to. It's
get
not
that.
it's not porn. I read I read a lot of like comics.
Yeah.
And I was trying to pull up this thing I wanted my mom to buy for an old car, and
Oh no.
it's like a Bluetooth thing.
Oh no.
And but when I opened my tab groups, it was just right there, just like real like I
didn't start playing, did
no,
it?
No. It was just in one of the tab groups, and I could see that one of the thumbnails was like something, but I think her eyes are bad enough that she couldn't see,
Or like
was
it wasn't
something-
going to register.
Yeah, like for me, it registers immediately because I know what it was.
Yeah.
I was just like, "Oop, close that Patreon," and then there was just like, anyway,
I don't know if, like what y'all's habits are, but like when I'm finished with a video,
yeah,
I close
You're
it.
done with it, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And like
no-
I close all the tabs I might have
No,
had
same
open.
because of
I-
the shame.
yeah,
Exactly.
and that's what the standard protocol.
Yeah, overwhelming shame.
I
You
don't know
close the
why.
tabs.
Might have been like messy cleaning up on aisle 7, like
Or just
I
like
don't know.
too tired.
Yeah,
Whatever
like-
it was.
or they fell asleep.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I think it's also one of those things too. Phone, yeah,
Yeah.
modern I don't know. Maybe this is me.
Sure.
Phone is if I'm like, well, I'm gonna get one out quick.
I don't want
And then
to
if
pull
I-
up a laptop. That's so much work. I tried to watch
I
porn.
don't need to know these things.
Yeah, but you know,
what I
you're
was-
here.
You
You're
know what I
here,
was
Gus.
just thinking, Gus? I was like, man, I used to do Always Open, where this is what we would talk about every single time. And I would be totally cool with that. For some reason, after 2 years of not doing that show, I'm like, I don't want to know about my friends' masturbation
I don't
habits.
know. I'm good.
I just think the
I'm saying-
laptop's weird. That's all I'm saying.
Laptop is like,
That's
let's take
too-
my time.
It's too big. I think I don't want to see it all.
On a somewhat tangentially
You
related
don't talk
note,
about this anymore?
no, I'm gonna change the topic a little bit.
shit,
we
6:30
were out
already.
filming something earlier, and I had to look something up on my phone, and I had like some of you. I don't remember who it was. I had some of you around, and I popped open my web browser, and one of the tabs I had open could be construed as something embarrassing. I have a story behind it, but I was like, I didn't dwell on it. I just clicked like new tab and looked whatever we were looking up.
Yeah.
And I thought, and then after we were done, I was like, I wonder if anyone saw my other tab because I can explain what that was about. It was just a little weird.
No.
Like I saw this like last week. I think it was a few days ago, maybe last week. I saw this photo on Reddit, which was this photo that was taken in Japan in the 1890s. And it's this woman who's carrying like a bunch of charcoal. Like she's got like a bunch of charcoal strapped to her back, and she's like walking down the road, and like her robe is just open. She's working, she's hot, so like she's got a boob hanging out.
Yeah.
It's not sexual. It's functional.
Right, and it made me start wondering. Like I saw that, and I thought, is that the oldest boob I've ever seen in my life? So I became curious about this photo, and I started researching it, and I found out that it was from a book that this woman had written back in the 1890s, where it was this English woman who had spent the summer traveling through Japan, and she was like the first foreigner. She had gone in like through the interior of Japan. She was like the first foreigner a lot of these people had ever seen.
Yeah.
And she wrote a book documenting about all of her experiences going to Japan. And apparently it's a very, so I have that open because I want to read this book. Apparently it's a very interesting book because at the time, a lot of men went through after her and around that time. A lot of men went through Japan and wrote about their experiences. But her book is unique because out of everyone who went, she was the only woman. She was the only writer who focused on and talked about families and the way family units operated in Japan at the time in the 1890s. I was like, what an interesting book, an interesting story that must be. So I have a Japanese tit from 1890 as one of my web browser
it's just in the book.
on my phone because it's from the book.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah, okay.
you can see it right there. It's like one of the tabs that's open.
Oh, but that's like barely anything.
Yeah, no,
so
that's
small,
so small.
Gus.
You wouldn't be able to know.
It's all black and white.
Also,
Well,
I
it's
feel like if you
1890s.
see it in black and white, then you're like, no, someone's reading. You're reading like a Wired article or something.
Yeah, no one.
Yeah, no one thinks you're jerking it to that.
Yeah, I mean, people jerk into weird stuff. I don't think anyone jerks it to black and white.
I guarantee you someone jerks it.
Someone's into
Actually,
that.
you know what? I had a weird thought
100%
earlier.
right.
Can I tell you my weird thought?
Should we talk about it in the post show? Or you want to talk about it now?
Oh, let's talk about it in the post show.
All right, it's a weird
All right.
thought.
Okay, well, first
Sign up
members,
for first.
you can get your RTX tickets now for RTX this summer.
We have
July 1st through 3rd.
early bird pricing through February 14th.
Yes, and first members, you only have until I believe Wednesday to get tickets. So after that, everyone, it's free game. So get the tickets you want
Get that
before
platinum pass.
other people start buying them. And also tune in to the post show once it's up on Tuesday to
Yes.
find out
What Chris is about to say to us.
what Chris's story is going to be.
We're about to get dropped.
I didn't say it in the moment because like that's a weird
And
thing
also,
to say.
you'll hear me talk about flying a plane because I didn't get a chance to talk about that.
Oh yeah,
I'll talk about that in the post show.
solo.
Ooh.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.